I'll be up in a minute.
Did you hear that?
School teacher's having hysterics again. Imogen?
I think it's Connie.
Of course it's Connie. Get over there.
All right, keep your head.
There's somebody in my house! There's somebody!
It's Connie!
I gathered.
Oh, thank God, thank God.
Could you come down and let us in?
He's on the stairs. Or the landing. I think he's on the landing.
Don't you think he might have scarpered by now?
You think so?
What with a noise sort of thing?
Well, have you got a front door key? You could throw it down.
Just a minute.
An awful lot of fabric in that nightie, isn't it? I mean that in the nicest possible way. Oi, oi, neighbourhood watchers, eh?
What's happened? Connie thinks there's an intruder.
Again?
Still on the landing, she reckons, having virtually screamed the house down.
Well, maybe we should suspend the judgment until we can ascertain what has actually occurred.
Yeah, precisely.
I just remembered. There's a spare key under the flower pot.
Right, OK. Got it.
Don't you worry, Connie. We'll be up there in a moment, sweetheart.
Was there someone there?
Shh, don't worry. If there's anyone in the house, we're going to find them, OK? Right, lads?
Yeah.
Do you want to go and look around, then?
Yeah.
Right.
There was definitely someone there, I swear. Imogen. You all right? It was someone on the landing. Really?
Oh, that's awful. You think perhaps you need a dressing gown?
I'm serious. There was definitely someone in the house. Why is this happening? Oh.
Overactive imagination, according to one or two of the neighbours. This is from the officers who answered the call.
What about the other neighbours?
Well, not quite so dismissive. Someone was seen loitering not far from her cottage 2 weeks ago, late at night. Then a month ago, she told friends that she thought someone had been in her house. Reckon things had been moved. But she has been found sleepwalking a couple of times on the village green, in a bit of an agitated state, apparently. I mean, whatever the truth of it, the officers who answered the call said she wasn't putting it on, that she genuinely was very frightened.
What does she do, this lady?
She's the village school teacher.
Oh, Connie Bishop. Yes, the Mrs. Barnaby knows her. Well, I've always taken her for a very serious, very sensible young woman.
Well, there's no sign of a forced entry. Window shut, back door locked. She kept a spare key under a flower pot, though.
And who knew about that?
Only half the village.
Only half the village, yeah.
And twisting. Keep going. Jacqueline, can you take over, please? Listen to Jacqueline. Okay. Mr. Barnaby.
Miss Connie Bishop. This is Detective Sergeant Jones.
Connie, please.
Beautiful spot.
Oh, we're very lucky. The building was donated by Harold Frobisher 60 years ago. About last night.
Ah.
I'm afraid I may be wasting your time. I think I must have been dreaming.
Well, let's hope you were. Well, better that than having a real intruder in the house.
Well, yes, I suppose so.
But the officers who attended the scene said you were very sure it wasn't a dream.
Well, yes. I do remember waking up and then hearing the noises. The footsteps on the landing, creaking floorboards. But people do sometimes dream they've woken up, don't they? When they are, in fact, still dreaming. I can't think what else it could have been. I mean, I didn't think much about it at the time when Jim said the back door was bolted.
There's Councillor Hanley. He's also the neighbourhood watch coordinator. He's one of the first on the scene.
And all the windows were closed. I was leaning out of my bedroom window calling for help. I would have seen anybody escaping through the front door. So there couldn't have been anybody there.
Now, listen, I understand absolutely what you're saying. But just to be on the safe side and for your own peace of mind, I think you should consider changing the lock on the front door.
Really?
Really. And you mustn't leave your spare key under the flower pot.
Yes, fair enough.
Now, this is my number. And do not feel embarrassed to give us a ring the second you think you've got another intruder, all right? There you go. That should help you sleep more easily.
You're very kind. I'm sure there won't be anything.
Odds are she was imagining it. But the fact that back door was locked from the inside doesn't rule out the possibility there really was an intruder, does it? And if there was an intruder, he could have left by that back door, come in again with the others, lock the back door from the inside before anyone saw it, to make it look as if no one could have left that way. Yeah.
Or just stayed in the house and pretended to come in with the others.
Yes. Yes, I think we ought to keep an open mind.
Yeah.
Chairman of the Frobisher Night Committee. Never understood why she was appointed in the first place. I can't see her running it for much longer, can you? Leaning out of windows in the middle of the night, screaming.
Are you certain there's nothing in it?
Oh, please. She lives in an utter fantasy world. No. Allowing her to continue as chairperson just wouldn't be fair to her. Quite apart from the charity. We have to take steps. And frankly, I'd like to know what's on her conscience. Because there's something there causing all the nightmares.
it's to do with committee business, we must wait for Connie.
If you would just let...
And did anyone tell Connie that the meeting had been brought forward?
Mrs. Stroud, don't you think it would be kind to take a little weight off Connie's shoulders just now? I'm just canvassing opinion.
Mrs. Richardson? Miss Bishop is here.
Ah, Connie, come in. Come in, you made it. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm fine.
Don't look your usual sparkling self. Are you sure you're feeling up to it?
What exactly is wrong with the heating at the hall?
Good question. And then there's a leaking roof.
Zookie's suggesting that we hire an all-weather marquee for Frobisher night on the green.
And I really think a sizable chunk of what we raise should go towards the new hall this year.
Do you know how much all-weather marquees cost?
Oh, don't you worry about that.
Don't worry about it. Frobisher night is about trying to raise money, not squander it away on expensive marquees.
Now, you mustn't get upset.
I'm not getting upset. And we've always had Frobisher night at the hall.
Darling, if we want to attract the kind of people who are going to bid serious money at the auctions, then we've got to provide the kind of venue in which they'll feel at home. Oh, dear. You have been badly shaken, haven't you?
I'm perfectly fine.
So stupid. I'm sorry. Ah, Jenny, tea. Perfectly timed.
It's not about raising extra cash for good causes. It's about raising her profile with the local bigwigs, the glitterati.
That's what ladies who lunch a lot live for.
She's right about us needing a new hall. School gets way too much of the proceeds anyway. And if we're honest, there aren't enough children to even justify it being there.
The school is the heart of the village. And the children are the future.
Feel a song coming on, Jim?
Oh, you can laugh. We have to make a stand. Somebody has to. At the end.
Jim.
What is it with him these days?
I told her we could stomp up the money for the deposit, but she just wouldn't have it. She has no vision. And fewer people attend each year. Why people support her?
When you say we can stump up the money for the deposit...
Oh, I'm sorry, babes. I should have mentioned it, but I didn't think you'd mind. It's only a few hundred. About at the most. 2? You don't mind, do you, Howie? You know how grateful I could be.
It's not about the money. It's about everyone taking part. Isn't it? Come on, then. Hello? No, I was just about to go up. No, everything's fine.
So, tell me a bit about yourself. Infet 73.
I'm a bit bi, a bit hetero, a bit of everything, really.
Sounds promising.
You better believe it, sonny boy.
No wonder you're always feeling tired.
Mum!
Who's that?
Mum! Well, thanks a lot.
You should get out more.
Mungo? Who is it?
She bolted the back door before she went to bed. This way. And when she came back down, it was wide open.
I must have got in when I let Mungo out, before I locked up.
You left the door open?
I let Mungo out. The phone rang, so I answered it. I was only gone a minute.
And do you think someone entered the house during that time?
That's all I can think of.
Who was it made the phone call?
Letty. Mrs. Stroud.
Sir,
Yeah.
you should see this.
What is it?
You stay there.
The blood's hardly congealed.
Councillor Hanley, neighbourhood watch guy.
I noticed that Miss Bishop, her hair was damp, it was wet. Did she have a shower?
Well, we didn't realise there was a body at the end of the garden, sir.
We thought she should warm up. She was muddy and cold through from the rain.
Right. Get forensics.
Yes, sir.
I can't believe it. Poor Jim.
Have you any idea what he might have been doing there in your garden, back of your house, middle of the night?
Is there anything missing from the house?
I haven't looked yet.
Well, if you could, at some point.
Ridiculous. Madam?
Connie.
Oh, you. What is
is going on? You poor girl. Is it true? It's Councillor Hanley.
Yes, it is.
I knew there was something wrong. I knew it.
How did you know?
He was troubled. He was very troubled. I should have taken more notice. Listen to him.
Sir, Mr. Bullard's here.
She can't stay here. I'm going to take her back to our house. She can come with us.
Yes, that's good. That's very good. We'll talk again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Well, Tom, it was a very sharp knife. Used approximately 1.5 hours ago.
About the time the intruder was in Connie's house. Assuming there was one.
I still can't believe it's happened. Terrible.
I see you're looking after Connie's dog.
We always have Mungo when Connie's at work. Home from home, is he, boy? He knows us pretty well now.
Now, Mrs. Stroud, you said... Oh, thank you. You said last night you thought Jim Hanley was troubled, and you felt you should have listened to him more.
Yes. It was a conversation we had in the pub.
This is the Black Swan.
Yes. I was talking to him about the Frobisher Committee.
Ah, Frobisher night, the dinner dance thing.
Yes. And how I wished he hadn't resigned the chairmanship.
And then he started talking about...
reputations and secrets. He'd had a few drinks by then, so I wasn't taking him too seriously. Something about how sometimes secrets have to be revealed.
Go on, Councillor, get it off your chest. It's always best, you know.
Easy for you to say.
Don't be such a drama queen.
No, let the poor man drown his sorrows. We haven't, Jim.
At the time, I thought it was just Jim being his moody old self.
You knew the councillor quite well.
40 years. I served with him at the council for 20. But I don't think I ever knew him really well. He was very polite and reasonable, but there was always something in reserve, you know?
Mrs. Stroud, do you know why Jim Hanley resigned from the Frobisher Committee?
I know he didn't enjoy it as much as he used to before Zuki and the rest joined. We had to put up with them because Zuki's husband has been so generous over the years to the charity. Poor man. She well and truly has got her claws into him.
What about friends and family of the councillor?
Not really. Divorced years ago, no children.
We were wondering whether the man I saw outside Connie's house might have anything to do with it.
You were the one who saw this man acting suspiciously.
Yeah, he rushed off when he saw me. Otherwise, I don't think I'd have noticed.
So what was he doing?
It was dark. I didn't really get a good look, but it was in almost the same place Jim Hanley was killed, so I just wondered.
Okay, that's it. Inside. Thank you. Hi.
Hi. I thought I just heard about what happened last night. Sounds terrible.
Wasn't great.
Anyway, I just wanted to say if there's anything I could do.
I wanted to thank you, actually, for the other night.
Just helping out.
I don't normally hang out of windows calling for young men to come and rescue me. I don't know what the women of the village would be thinking of me.
Oh, well, we've all been there. I mean, I didn't mean... because obviously we haven't. Yeah. I think that's my phone.
Thank you, Justin.
Detective Chief Inspector Barnaby from Corson CID, and this is Detective Sergeant Jones. We'd like to talk to Mrs. Richardson, please.
Come in.
Thank you.
This way. If we get the hall back in proper condition, it's something the whole community can use.
Let me think about it.
We're not talking about a huge amount of money. Mrs. Richardson. Just a minute. It's far less than you donated to the school.
That was money well spent.
Mrs. Richardson. Will you please? Inspector Barnaby and Detective Constable, who was it?
Detective Sergeant Jones.
This must be about Councillor Hanley. Terrible thing. Thank you, Jenny. That'll be all.
Yes, it is about Councillor Henry, and of course we're talking to everyone that knew him.
Of course. Oh, this is my husband, Howard.
Mr. Richardson.
Shocking. Please.
I really only knew him from the committee work.
He seemed a pleasant enough man.
Mr. Richardson, did you know him at all?
Nice man, I thought. Can't imagine he had any enemies. It wasn't anything to do with neighborhood watch, was it?
Just don't know, sir.
He was very fond of Connie, of course.
Very fond?
Well, if I'm brutally honest, it was bordering on an obsession. Connie didn't mention it.
How did this obsession manifest itself?
Oh, body language. He couldn't disguise it. It was very odd. Still, some people like needy types, don't they?
Were you aware of it, sir, this obsession?
I didn't see much of him, so I couldn't really comment. There's no question it had anything to do with Connie.
We're not ruling anyone out or in at this moment, sir.
Where were you both between 11:30 and 12:30 last night?
I was in bed with my husband. We went up at about 11, didn't we, Howard?
I came up a bit later. You were already asleep, actually. Must have been about 11:30.
And 10 times 5, William, is 50. Brilliant. 50.
Look!
Listen to Jacqueline.
Okay, now you can tell me 11 times 5.
I was just passing, and I thought I'd drop in and disrupt your class a bit.
Well, 10 out of 10.
No, it's about that lock you needed changing. Just wondered whether it's convenient for me to pop round this evening and take a look at it.
I'd say the councillor had a bit of a soft spot for Connie. Not sure I'd say he was obsessive.
What about his relationship with Zuki Richardson?
He put up with her, like we all do. God knows what old Howard sees in her. No fool like an old fool.
His money inherited?
Oh, no. Started his own electronics company. Retired now.
He's involved in a lot of charities, isn't he?
Yeah, but understated, you know. Put a shed load into the village school. They've got the building as long as they want it now. All repairs and upkeep taken care of.
Everything?
The whole lot.
Good evening.
Sweet at school today.
Really? Couldn't have you down as a curtain twitcher.
I hope you're not planning on taking advantage of Connie's current vulnerable state.
She's asked me to go and take a look at her front door locks. Not that it's any business of yours, mate.
Is there a problem?
It's Laughing Boy who's got a problem.
You just don't take advantage of her.
I'm going round to Connie's later to sort out her locks, as I think you suggested. It's amazing, isn't it? You try and do your bit to help, or you get sculptors abusing you.
Keep it civil, gentlemen.
Planning notice.
Ooh, an extension.
You'd need a ladder to get into the upstairs windows.
Yeah, it's fairly secluded, if there was a ladder handy.
There are window locks. I think they're okay. I can get Lawrence to have a look when he does his quote.
That's a good idea. What a lovely garden you have.
Thank you.
I see you've got a planning application for an extension. Would you lose a lot of the garden?
Quite a bit, sadly. Assuming the permission comes through. Actually, not sure it will now. Jim was always positive about the chances, but as he's gone...
Was he on the planning committee?
That's right. I hope that doesn't make me sound callous.
No, of course it doesn't.
I'll miss him.
Miss Bishop, we have to ask, do you have a boyfriend at the moment?
No, I don't. And to be honest, I can't really see the relevance.
We've heard that Councillor Hanley was interested in you romantically.
Obsessed was the word used.
Well, that's ridiculous. Jim was just a nice man. We got on well, we were friends.
You didn't ever feel he was attracted to you?
No, not in that way. And I think it says more about the people making the accusation than the person they're accusing. I can probably make a wild stab at who it might have been.
I think Connie could do with a bit of company now that she's back at the cottage.
That's right. She'll be getting all spooked over there on her own. What about it, Justin? She'll be pleased with a bit of company. Play your cards right. You can get your slippers under the bed and get your old house back into the bargain.
It's not funny, Vince.
Why not? We all know how much you hated selling the place. You could have your cake and eat it there.
Oh, I don't think our resident sculptor would know his cake if it jumped up and bit him on the snout. Talking of which, I'm feeling a little bit peckish myself. Evening all.
How's Connie getting on, do you think?
Maybe you should ask her yourself if you care for her. Do you?
Of course I do. So every time I get near her, I start talking gibberish. Perfectly right until I get close to her, and then some half-wit takes control of my brain.
Oh, dear. You have got it bad, haven't you? But, you know, it's not the end of the world. If someone's fond of you, they're inclined to put up with the occasional bouts of drivel.
Well, that all seems secure enough.
When Justin had the house, he made sure they did a good job.
Well, he may be all right with household security, but he's not so hot on manners. I couldn't believe what he was saying down the pub just now.
What did he say?
Well, he was going on about how keen you were on him. Gagging for it was the charming phrase he used. I know. I always thought he was OK. That wasn't the worst of it, I'm afraid. He said he was thinking about hitching up with you because he might end up living in his old house again. Having his cake and eating it was the way he put it. Amazing how wrong he can be about people, isn't it? But then again, maybe it was just his idea of a joke, I don't know. Now, this is the lot you want fixed, yeah?
Yeah.
The marquee's booked. It's going to be fabulous. Oh, hello, darling. Zuki. Oh, lovely to see you. Coming to Frobisher Night?
Frobisher Night? When's that?
Oh, you must come. It's going to be totally different this year. We've got a wonderful all-weather marquee on the green, fantastic caterers, a top DJ person. Nothing at all like previous years. You must come.
Well,
Leave it with me. I'll drop the tickets round. Say no more. I'll see you there.
Okay, thanks.
Suki, all the tickets are gone.
I'll sort something out. She's just the kind of person we need. Morning.
Oh, absolutely fine. I'm really enjoying living in my lovely cottage. I didn't realise you liked it quite that much.
Sorry.
I've never gagged for anything in my life.
He was chairperson. Considered a bit of a tough nut, was Councillor Hanley when it came to planning applications. Why do you ask?
Well, I was wondering about the planning application for Connie Bishop's house.
Ah, the extension.
What's the situation there?
Oh, it has every chance of going through. Jim had actually told me, off the record, that he thoroughly approved. Connie's sister and the 3 children are moving in. A bad divorce. And it was all very difficult, I think. Pretty much homeless. Jim was very pleased at the idea of more children in the village, bolster the school numbers.
We've heard the relation between Jim Hanley and Connie Bishop described as an obsession.
Obsession? No. Mildly infatuated, possibly, in an older man and younger woman kind of a way. But he would never have done anything.
Mrs. Richardson.
Ah, I've caught you in. Excellent. What a lovely garden you have.
Thank you. Well, we do try to keep it
Yes.
nice.
I wanted to ask you a favour, Jean.
Oh, if we can help in any way. Oh, it's Mrs. Richardson.
Hello there. Lovely day.
Yes. I was wondering about your tickets for Frobisher Night. I wondered whether you might give them up this year.
Give them up? Oh, but we go every year.
Yes, well, that's rather the point. We wondered if you might give somebody else the chance this time around. Have you actually ever bought anything at the auction?
We got that sirloin of beef that time, didn't we, Ted?
That's right.
Yes, well, a sirloin of beef isn't really what it's about this year. We do have some lavish and extraordinary lots. So, if you don't feel you can realistically contribute, you might want to give somebody else a chance. Have you got them handy?
Here we are. All done.
Thank you.
Would you like me to be a key holder for the spare? Might be a little bit safer than where it was before. Or someone else. Just don't leave it under the flower pot.
No, you keep it, thanks.
Trust me. I'm a locksmith. Hello. It seems a rather nice little rioja has found its way into my toolbox. How extraordinary. Oh, and there's a corkscrew as well. How about that? What'd you say?
Do you know, I could just do with a drink. I'll get the glasses.
I can't move.
Come on.
I'll have to stay the night.
I
can stay the night.
Can't stay the night.
Why not? The wine's stronger than I thought. Have mercy.
Come on. All right, you can stay in the summer house. Oh my God. Oh my God! Oh my God!
No.
Well, I'm awake now.
No, oh, sorry. Go on. I hope you find the killer soon, Tom. I'm looking forward to a decent night's sleep.
I think Mrs. Barnaby feels the same way, too.
Okay, from what I can see, the murder weapon is similar or the same as the one used on Council Home. And look at the way he's lying. It doesn't take much effort to cut a throat.
It doesn't look like it was much of a struggle.
Well, that's a fair amount of alcohol. He's probably comatose.
Time of death?
1:30, give or take half an hour.
He'd come over to change the locks and then produced a bottle of wine. And we had a drink or two.
Why was he in the summer house?
Well, he said he was too drunk to get home. I think he was making a kind of clumsy play to stay the night. I said he couldn't, but he could stay in the summer house.
And then?
And then I went back into the house and went to bed.
Why did you go back out to the summer house? At what time was it?
That was, 2:30?
At 2:30. Why did you go back out there?
I had a bad dream. I just woke up feeling a bit dehydrated, hungover. I remembered that Lawrence was in the summer house, so I went to see if he was still there.
The weather was foul. You must have had a very good reason to go back out to the summer house.
I just wanted to see if he was okay.
Mrs. Stroud's here to see Miss Bishop, sir.
Yeah, ask her to hang on for a bit, please. I think you ought to stay with Mrs. Stroud again, at least until forensics are finished here.
Oh, my God.
What?
I've just remembered. Lawrence said he knew who the murderer was. Oh, my God.
But who was it?
He didn't say. He just said he knew who it was.
Connie, what did he say exactly?
I'd been going on about how people in the village thought I was crazy and how half of them probably thought I'd killed Jim Hanley, and he said he knew I hadn't. I said it was sweet of him to say so, but he couldn't really be sure. And he got sort of irritated and said he knew I hadn't done it because he knew who had. I told him he should tell the police. And I said he could be in danger if he knew who it was. And then he said he didn't mean it. That he'd been joking. But he wasn't joking. I know he wasn't.
How did you know?
Because he asked me not to mention it to anyone. And you don't say that if you've been joking.
And he gave no clue at all as to who he thought the murderer was?
No. No, he didn't.
Did you tell anyone about this? Did you make any phone calls?
No. I've only just remembered myself.
What do you think, sir? Is she telling the truth?
Remember Mrs. Stroud going on about Jim Hanley in the pub, talking about secrets and reputations? Well, Lawrence was there too, and I'm wondering if Lawrence got the counsellor to explain who he was talking about.
The thing I hate most about all of this is how suspicious it makes you of everyone. I can't trust anyone. Not even sure if I trust myself anymore. Sometimes I think I'm going mad.
You're bound to feel a bit wobbly.
I can't believe what Justin said. I thought he was okay. Now I find out he's a complete... How could he?
What are you talking about?
You didn't hear what he said in the pub. Apparently he was telling everyone how he thought he'd get hitched up with me so he could get his old house back. And how it would be easy because I was gagging for it.
Justin didn't say that. Who told you? Was it Lawrence?
He was there.
I know he was there. So was I. Lawrence and Vince were winding Justin up. They were the ones who were talking about him having his cake and eating it. Justin was actually defending you.
Defending me?
Well, of course he was. Wasn't Justin upset at what Vince said about getting his shoes under Connie's bed?
Yes, he was, definitely.
See?
Nice cup of tea.
Oh, thank you.
I don't like to speak ill of the dead, but that swine Lawrence must have been trying to put you off Justin to give himself a better chance. Justin loves you. You must know that.
He doesn't.
Of course he does. He's mad about you. Isn't he, Imogen?
He is.
It's just he doesn't have the courage to tell you.
I was so rude to him outside the shop today.
Oh, you'll get over it.
What's he going to think about last night?
Talk to him. Explain what happened. Everything's going to be all right. Come on.
So if what Connie said was true, Lawrence may have been killed to stop him revealing who the murderer was.
But why here? And why last night? And how did the killer know that Lawrence would be here in the summer house at 1:30 in the morning, eh?
Could it have been the lurker from a couple of weeks ago? Back again, happened to see them?
Well, if it was the lurker who was the killer, that means our besotted councillor, Jim Hanley, was not. I think it's time to talk to the wise man of the village.
I'm just relieved we decided to take over when we did. Connie's obviously in no state to do anything now.
We're not cancelling Frobisher night.
Absolutely not. Deposits have been taken. Oh, and I've managed to get commitments from 2 more local celebrities and an honourable.
Wonderful.
I'll see you.
See you.
Do you think, Vince, that the lurker was someone local?
It was a bit odd, old Jim Hanley being found there, in the same spot where Imogen saw the peeping Tom.
Do you think Jim Hanley was, that way inclined?
Well, there were pointed comments from his wife before they divorced. She definitely gave the impression that he was one of life's voyeurs.
Being a peeping Tom is pretty reprehensible behaviour, but having your throat cut seems a bit extreme.
I don't think she'd jump to any conclusions about the motive just yet.
I think there's something you should know. I'm not saying it was definitely suspicious, but it was a bit odd in the circumstances.
Yes, go on.
It was yesterday, just here. I saw Connie talking to Justin, and they had words. She was very off with him. Anyway, it was all because of a lie that Lawrence told, saying Justin was only interested in Connie because he wanted to get his old house back.
His old house?
Where Connie lives now. A couple of years ago, when Justin split up with Claire, that's his ex, lovely girl, didn't deserve her, they had to sell the house, and Connie bought it. Anyway, I was thinking, if Justin found out what Lawrence had been saying about him, he wouldn't be too pleased.
No, I was never too keen on Lawrence, but that was not a nice way to go.
Darts team will miss him. Pushed his luck, though, didn't he, with his womanising?
That's true. There'll be 1 or 2 people out there with motives. Not mentioning any names.
Yeah, but he's got to be on their list, though, isn't he? What with his being so smitten by Connie and Lawrence trying to muscle in on the 2 of them? I'm not saying he's the murdering kind, of course.
Very decent of you, Vince. Thank you.
Mind you, I'm not so sure you could say the same about the subject of his affections. Definitely a troubled soul, our Connie. What with her nightmares and sleepwalking and screams in the middle of the night. Who knows what's going on inside that pretty head of hers?
Yeah, Connie's one of the gentlest people I've ever met.
Absolutely. Lovely person.
I'm sure you're right. But it's worth bearing in mind that anyone who's shown any amorous interest in her so far has ended up with their throat cut.
I'm going off this pub.
I thought I might find you here.
Hello. Oh, sorry, do you want to go in?
Actually, Justin, it was you I wanted to talk to.
Oh. Shall we? So, how you been getting on?
Well, I'm staying at Mrs. Stroud's tonight, but it's not ideal. I've decided to go back to the cottage tomorrow. Police should be pretty much finished by then.
You sure you'll be all right there on your own?
Well, that's why I wanted to talk to you. You know, you said if there was anything you could do for me to just ask.
Yeah.
I wondered if you might come over for supper tomorrow. I think I'm going to find the evenings a bit difficult, and I could do with the company. If you're not doing anything.
No, of course, I'd love to.
Oh, great. About 7:30.
Great.
See you then.
And the entrance here, I think. Excellent. Good. Excuse me. I think it's going to be fabulous. Just pray there isn't another murder.
Oh, they say bad things come in threes.
You know, Jane, sometimes you can be very negative. Not there!
Particularly like Lawrence. That's not true. I positively disliked him.
Ah, and why is that?
A liar, full of himself, rude, the list goes on.
And he didn't like him flirting with Connie.
She'd have more sense to have anything to do with him.
How long have you known Connie?
I met her the first time when I was showing around the cottage.
You lived there with your ex-wife, didn't you?
Girlfriend.
What happened there?
She walked out on me. She needed her half of the house, so we had to sell. I'm not a wealthy man.
Well, we'll need her contact details in case we need to get in touch.
Well, she was quite good friends with Imogen. You could try her.
Imogen Stroud.
Used to say they were going to yoga classes in Corston, and they'd go up the pool together. Not sure which one was worse.
Pretty weird, wanting the house. With all the bad memories of a broken relationship, you'd think you'd want a fresh start somewhere else. Mind you, it's pretty odd Connie wanted to move back in so soon.
And people can be funny about houses.
I'd like to hear the ex-girlfriend's side of things anyway.
Oh, Claire?
Yeah.
Yeah, check up on her, will you? See if she really has sunk without trace.
Yes, sir.
Chief Inspector,
Mrs. Menzies.
terrible thing about the murders. Are there any developments at all?
We're working on it. The show must go on, must it?
Frobisher Night has never been cancelled. The good causes do rely on us. And, well, it's just too much invested.
Very expensive, is it?
Howard Richardson's guaranteeing the fee.
Ah, the millionaire benefactor.
Yes, though I'm not sure quite how many of his millions he has now. Well, some trophy wives are just more high maintenance than others.
There we are, thanks very much. Oh, what can I do for you?
Justin's ex-girlfriend, Claire Cooper. Do you know how we can get hold of her?
No, I've no idea.
Well, he said you knew her quite well.
Not that well. We used to go to yoga classes together. I don't understand why you're asking.
Oh, just general background, you know. What was their relationship like?
Not great. They went out with each other for a couple of years, bought the cottage together, and then they just drifted apart.
Do you know why?
And they were never very well suited.
Do you know if she kept in touch with anyone in the village?
I don't know. I haven't heard it mentioned.
Drop it. Fergie, drop it.
Leave!
Oh, my God.
She just went into that tangle and came out with it.
Me. Looks like a murder weapon, sir.
George, what do you think? It certainly could be the weapon used. Looks sharp enough.
I know we can't afford very much, but we've been going to Frobisher Night for 50 years. And Peggy and Jude, well, they've been going nearly that long as well. She asked for their tickets back too. Didn't you know?
No, I did not.
How dare you? Those people have been the lifeblood of Frobisher Night for 50 years, and you come in and tell them to give up their tickets.
My dear, I think your judgment's a bit clouded. It's all about raising money for good causes, and I'm afraid your friends just don't have that much money to give.
It's about the community contributing. They look forward to it all year.
We're going to raise much more money than previous years.
Well, I won't be there. I've already given my tickets to the Fullers. I want no part of it.
Have you heard they found the murder weapon?
Hi.
Come in.
I brought you some flowers.
They're beautiful, thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Look at me. I'm really glad to see you. Oh, what a day I've had. That Zuki Richardson, honestly.
What happened?
Oh, I don't want to talk about it. I just want to forget about her and enjoy myself. She won't be ruining this evening. Come on, let's get some water for these flowers.
You know, the first time that sleepwalking was used as a defense at a murder trial was Massachusetts, USA, 1846, when a certain Albert Tyrrell was charged with murdering a lady of the night, having set fire to her brothel. He got off scot-free.
Be different if he set fire to a nunnery.
Oh, so young and so cynical. You found Justin's ex-girlfriend?
Not a trace.
No? Oh, well, you can wait until the morning. Well, I've had enough. I'm off. Catch up on some sleep. You did check missing persons, didn't you?
Yes, sir. I can't find any record of it since she split up with Justin.
All right. See you in the morning.
Good night, sir.
Two extra bedrooms and a bathroom. And downstairs it will be a nice, roomy kitchen diner and a snug.
Wow. It looks very good.
What a fantastic evening. I really enjoyed it.
Me too. God, it's that time. I should be going.
It's been really nice having you here, Justin. Someone I can trust. Does that sound odd?
No, not at all.
There's a bed made up in the spare room. How would you feel about staying the night? It's my first night back in the house, and it would be really reassuring to have someone here with me.
Of course.
I mean, if you have to get back.
No, I'd be happy to stay.
Fantastic.
Sometimes bed is just the best place to be.
If you're allowed to get some sleep. Well, tonight, I have taken precautions. What? Very funny.
awake. Perhaps you can wake up now. Connie, oh, you think we better wake up now, Connie? 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 Connie?
Go again.
It's all right, you're all right, you're all right.
Justin!
Oh, yeah.
Aren't you going to answer it?
Thought you were wearing earplugs.
I didn't like them. You can't hear anything.
He's claiming Connie was sleepwalking, came into his room, and got into bed with him.
About the injuries?
I was trying to hold her off.
Of course you were.
She was getting quite, well, amorous in her sleep.
Poor you. Be quiet, please.
I think it'd be a very good start to the physical aspect of our relationship if she woke up mid-session, so to speak.
Go. I'm so sorry. Oh, Justin.
It's me you should be arresting. Can we talk, please?
Yes.
I'm the one who should be locked up. For my sake and for everyone else's.
No, look. You were sleepwalking. You woke up in what you thought was a threatening situation, and you lashed out. I do not think that is an imprisonable offence.
But you don't know what you've done when you've been sleepwalking, do you? And you don't always know whether or not you've been sleepwalking when you wake up.
You're talking about the murders, aren't you?
You know, I said I had a dream the night Lawrence was killed. Well, I didn't tell you everything. When I looked down at my hand in the dream, I was holding a knife. And I heard a voice inside my head saying, "Kill him." Over and over. And the night Jim Hanley died, and I found the back door open, I think there were muddy boot prints by the back door. My sort of size. And they got smeared with all the coming and going, the police and everything. But I don't know how they got there. I know I should have mentioned it before. I'm sorry.
So you think you put on your boots in your sleep, went outside, killed someone in your sleep?
Homicidal somnambulism. I don't believe in that, Connie. I don't believe you should either. But were there any traces of blood on you, or on your hands, or anywhere?
I had a shower.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't do it on purpose or anything. I was just all muddy and wet, and I needed to warm up. Any traces of blood would have been washed away. Oh.
Better than expected results, but it's out.
The words bull and china shop spring to mind.
Oh, are you awake, love?
What happened?
This case, Joyce, is taking a turn toward the bizarre. Connie Bishop says that she may be the one who slit the throats of our 2 murder victims. Yeah, in her sleep.
What on earth put that idea into her head?
Well, she says she's a regular sleepwalker. And she had a dream on the night of the second murder in which she's holding this knife while a voice inside her head kept saying, "Kill him, kill him." I can't believe that Connie Bishop is our killer. Can you? Anyway, she wanted to be locked up, prison cell for the night for her own protection and everyone else's, she said. So that's what we've done, to err on the side of caution. Do you want to turn out a light?
Oh, I'm really going to drop off easily now.
Of course, sleepwalking can be used as a valid defense against a murder charge.
Don't tempt me.
Think how many meals on wheels this would pay for. Two tickets and you're welcome to them.
Oh, that is so kind of you. We're able to fit in the Munrays after all. You must know them. She's the model, he's the famous divorce lawyer.
Yes, I do. Couple of social climbing non-entities. But I'm sure you'll get along swimmingly.
Connie.
Well, she was talking about booking in for another night tonight, so I said we'd play it by ear. Got a bit of interesting news for you, though, sir. I've just been talking to Justin's ex, Claire, on the phone. Apparently, Imogen contacted her after we'd seen her and explained how we're trying to get hold of her.
So they did keep in touch?
Yeah. Anyway, Claire says Justin wasn't violent at all during their relationship. If anything, he was too nice.
So there goes your body under the patio theory?
Yeah.
But there is something about this house. It all revolves around this house. Come on.
So murder 1 on the pathway at the bottom of Connie's garden. Murder 2 in the summer house. Lawrence's death. Let's assume for a moment, shall we, that Connie was telling us the truth. Lawrence told Connie that he knew the identity of the murderer, but he didn't tell her the name. She told him to tell the police because knowing the identity of the murderer meant that he might be in danger himself from the murderer. But Lawrence said that the murderer didn't know that he knew.
Perhaps Lawrence was blackmailing them, anonymously.
Yeah. Yes. And that's probably the best explanation of why he didn't tell the police. And then he's killed, murdered in his sleep. Cold-blooded, premeditated murder. As if whoever did it wanted to prevent their identity from being revealed, or, well, you know, just to get shot of a blackmailer. But how or when did they realize it was Lawrence? Lawrence was virtually passing out by the time Connie put him to bed in the summer house. He couldn't have talked to anyone. And Connie said that she didn't either.
So the murderer must have known Lawrence knew who they were, which also means the murderer would have known it was Lawrence who was blackmailing them.
Yeah. But why wait until Lawrence comes up here to Connie's cottage, eh? I mean, wouldn't that make it more risky? I mean, why not kill him as soon as they knew?
Yeah. Hello. It's voicemail. Forensics want me to give them a call?
Oh, yes.
Bit quick for a result on the blood.
I was holding a knife, and I heard a voice inside my head saying, "Kill him."
What on earth put that idea into her head?
Look, she's a regular sleepwalker.
Footsteps on the landing, creaking floorboards. But people sometimes do dream they've woken up, don't they? When they are still dreaming, I can't think what else it could have been.
Bit of a shocker, sir.
Yeah?
They haven't got a match on the blood yet, but they managed to get a partial print off the knife handle. It's Connie Bishop's.
Definite match?
Well, it looks like she's tried to wipe it clean and missed a bit.
So if the blood matches the victim's, Connie is our killer.
So what's going on, sir? Was she genuinely sleepwalking and didn't know what she was doing? Or was it all a double bluff and she was compos mentis all the time?
That is a very good question, Charles.
We are in a different venue tonight. As I'm sure you will all have realized, it was the idea and the inspiration of a wonderful human being.
Yeah.
Who I happen to know rather well.
That's much better understated like that. You're on better form this evening.
Yeah. I think everything's going to turn out all right.
Of course it will.
We've got so many of the same CDs. Cute.
You know you can stay here if you want.
After what happened?
Well, I might have to tie you down to the bed, but... I mean, I didn't mean...
I know what you meant.
Bloody people.
Well, he said he'd be here.
Come on. Follow me.
Yes, sir.
about Connie's fingerprints on the knife?
Well, if the killer get into Connie's cottage while she was asleep, he could have pressed the knife handle onto her fingers. She'd been drinking, had a bottle or two. Killer knew that. Knew she wouldn't wake up easily. Could even have triggered the dream. Didn't mention it earlier because I thought the killer might, be listening in. Didn't see any harm in suggesting that Connie was our chief suspect, lull him into a false sense of security.
But if it wasn't Connie, how did the murderer get into the cottage after killing Lawrence? She just had her locks changed.
I've spoken to Connie. Apparently she gave the spare key to Lawrence for safekeeping. But I've also spoken to Georgie Bullard. No sign of any key on the body. I think the killer took the key to get into his house. I believe our murderer was listening in when Lawrence volunteered to become a key holder.
Trust me, I'm a locksmith.
So he knew that Lawrence would have it with him in the summer house.
That's interesting. It's not just a listening device. Someone's transmitting to here as well. Connected to the amplifier and the speakers.
Better check the radios upstairs as well.
The on-off switch has been circumvented.
You can turn it on remotely.
Looks like it.
Ladies and gentlemen, can you all take your seats, please?
You can listen or play back recorded sounds or speak directly into the microphone.
Kill him.
It's quite effective. If you were half asleep, you might think it was in your head.
Right. Creaking floorboards and footsteps from the spare room, please.
Well, I'd be reaching for the baseball bat. Fooled me.
Trading software, spread betting account, and he's not doing too well.
No, he's not.
But I think it's time now, darling. Have you turned that off?
I think you may have just lost your element of surprise, sir.
Trouble you, darling girl. But I think Zuki's Frobisher night is about to be kiboshed.
I I have a confession to make.
He's not the murderer, is he?
I'd just like to make it clear that... I'd like to make it clear that my dear Zuki had nothing to do with any of it.
Howard, just do the speech we agreed.
I shall miss you.
Mr. Barnaby?
Sorry.
Howard Richardson, I'm arresting you for the murders of Jim Hanley and Lawrence Mann.
No.
You do not have to say anything. But it may harm your defense if you do not mention when questioned something you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Thank you, Sergeant.
Come with us, please, sir.
What? No, I
I'm
can't.
afraid I'm leaving you with one or two money problems as well. They'll be coming for the house keys any day. Sorry.
Oh, Howard.
Connie! Connie, why were you so stubborn about keeping the school open?
This is about the school.
Yes. Howard wanted the school to close, so the ownership would revert to him. Those are the terms of the covenant. It was worth a great deal of money, and Howard needed it.
So all that stuff about supporting the school.
I'd like to go now, please.
You know, as a cabaret, I think we're going to have trouble topping this next year.
So, Frobisher night finished early.
No, it all went on. There was a bidding frenzy, I'm told. They had a record night, and we got a full confession.
Why did he kill Councillor Hanley?
Ah, well, that all kicked off when Howard failed to blackmail our Mr. Hanley.
You're going to get the rights.
What? Oh, yeah. Which is ironic, because Howard himself was blackmailed later on. Jim Hanley, you see, was the peeping Tom, when Howard caught him in the act.
Having fun.
Howard knew that if the council granted Connie planning permission for the extension, and Connie's sister moved back in with her 3 kids, then that school could go on for 1-2 years at least. But Howard needed that school to fail, so he'd get back possession of the building and sell it. But the good councillor was not for bribing.
I've decided to grant planning permission so you can do your worst. And if you decide to tell people what you saw that night, I shall tell them that you tried to blackmail me, which won't do your reputation much good either. It's up to you. Well, that's all sort of academic now, anyway. She doesn't want you to grant planning permission. What are you talking about? She's decided she can't face the thought of her sister and all the children coming to stay, but she wants it to look as if she's tried, so as not to upset her sister. I don't believe you. Well, look, why don't we go and ask her, Get it from the horse's mouth. She'll still be up. I only spoke to her 5 minutes ago. Give me a moment. I'll just get a jacket.
And he took the councillor to Connie's cottage to make it look as though Connie was involved?
Initially, it was to get him away from his own house. That's what he said. But when he saw Connie go to the back door of her cottage to let the dog out, he thought, I'll take advantage of that. He said it was an opportunity he could not refuse. So he nipped inside, he hid, waited for Connie to go to bed, and then, using her boots, he put her muddy footprints by the back door.
What about the builder, Lawrence?
Lawrence, huh? Well, when Howard found out that it was Lawrence who knew he was the murderer and was blackmailing him to boot, well, he just had no choice. Then all Howard had to do was to put Connie's fingerprints on the end of the knife and leave that knife somewhere where it could easily be found, as indeed it was by the little dog.
And he put all those transmitters and things in himself.
Yes, he did. Electrical engineer, boffin par excellence, apparently.
I can't trust anyone.
No, you can't. Well, we can hope we get a decent night's sleep tonight.
I wouldn't count on it.